So, this one might be a shorter one, but we really need to talk about it nevertheless. So, we have been seeing this Kantara effect going on from a few years, I guess. It the first one came out, I guess, 2 or 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I guess. So, वहां से we are seeing this uh, effect, this dharmic effect, in which dharmic movies, especially from the south, are blowing up. And what does it show? It basically represents that dharma is rising with time. And this again goes back to my first video of Ugra Devtas are rising. But let's first talk about what's in there in Kantara mainly in both the parts. So the plot is quite simple. There is this land problem where in in the first one there is this atheistic landlord type of guy who wants to grab the land of the villagers, and he doesn't respect, or he doesn't believe in the local deity of that village. In the second one there are these rulers who, with some tribe which does some black magic and all, wants to contain those deities, contain the local deities, and uh, like rule over the land through them or using them, by enslaving those deities. So in both of these things we are seeing there is this land related problem, and who is the deity being invoked? A form of Varaha, right? And what did Varaha avatar do? He protected Bhumi. He protected Bhumi and killed Hiranyaksha. So in land related matters we can see it directly from the mythology that uh, Varaha avatar should be worshipped for land related and area related disputes, and we are going to have it. As again I said in my Ugra Devta video, that wars are going to happen. It's quite natural. You can see how Russia is right now doing incursions into NATO airspace, and we are having a verbal confrontation with Pakistan again. So the times are going to be war times in the future, and thus what Rajashri Nandi is doing, making Bhairava temples, his plan of making 8 Bhairava temples, I guess, throughout India is nice because he is the Kshetrapal. But similarly, Varaha Murti is also great for land protection, and Sri Guru Rohit Arya, I guess, in one of his videos suggested that one Bhairav temple and one Varaha Murti temple should be in every city of India. He would protect the land. And we can learn one more thing from Kantara, both the parts, is that we need to invoke the deities in order to defeat the opposing forces, be it an atheistic force or be it a force which is governed by Kali Purush or anything evil sort of, any asur, right? In the first part, we see that the protagonist in it is fighting with the atheistic landlord's goons basically, and he loses, he dies. But the deity, once the Avesham happens, he is able to defeat those goons and reclaim the land and give it to the villagers, give it back to the villagers. And in the second part, we see it too, right? Until the Avesham of the deities happen, uh, they are losing, and once it happens, they win. So the the invocation of deities is very much required, which I do not see in the current political Hindu scenario happening. The organizations which are leading the so-called Hindutva movement, they they first of all they are using Hindus as a use and throw thing. Not They do not care about Hindus, or I do not think they know anything about Hinduism even. Like what they have been doing in the Kamakhya corridor thing. Like they do not respect the Kshetras. They do not know the sanctity of the Kshetras. They just care about votes and popularity, nothing else. So anyway, these organizations are not invoking the deities, but as we are going to be a Sena of real sadhaks. We need the invocation of deities. And for personal growth, where in through Varaha Swami, you can protect the whole land for the whole land's protection, for a collective protection of people. Varaha Swami should be worshipped. But we we need to train ourselves for the whole country for the scale of a country. Prachina Nadi is doing the Bharavati. We need to first strengthen ourselves, and that's why we need to start worshipping Narasimha. In my opinion, most of the Vaishnavas need to start worshipping Narasimha. Otherwise, it would be quite hard to defeat our enemies, if you know by that what I mean. So yeah, this trend basically shows that the invocation of deities is really necessary, and for that we need to do Narsimha sadhana, and that's why I'd recommend you all to go on and watch my video on Narsimha sadhana and start doing it. Start doing the sadhana which is prescribed in that video. Jai Shri Lakshmi.